Two of how to save images, web compressed images for the Catawba Valley site. So as you can see on the screen, we've got the original PSD file that we have with the 4 different artboards for the primary sizes of images on the Catawba Valley site. So first thing I want to do is go to where I have my images located. So for this example, I'm going to bring in 4 images. So I'm just going to drag and drop these guys into one artboard first. So we're going to go ahead and bring these guys in. And what we're going to want to do is go ahead and size these appropriately for the artboard. One of the things, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure what's causing this, is that Photoshop realizes or recognizes this image as 100%. But we see that it's actually 1920 by 1080. The original image is much larger than that. So that's one area. I'll be honest, I need to do a little bit more research and figure out what's going on there. But with this, if you hold down Option and click, you're going to be able to transform these images from their center point. So what I want to do is go ahead and organize all these images so that they are stretched to fit and fit this space. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Do one. One of the things that's going to happen is in a mobile responsive environment, some images will respond within the constraints of the space that they're given. So sometimes images will get cut or start to scale appropriately depending upon the coding around that image's container. One of the first things we want to do is name these files. So for this, I'm just going to go ahead and give a brief name. But we'll say image _1, image _2, image 3, and image 4. With the 4 images selected, I'm going to go ahead and hold down Shift so I can select multiple images at one time. I'm going to hold down Option, click, and drag. And that's going to pull these images directly into what we're seeing with the 1440 by 600. You'll notice that you can see the constraints of the image extend past the artboard. One easy way to transform all of these is to, again, hold down Shift and select all. So with one layer selected, hold down Shift, and I can select all of those images. Hit Command T for transform, or you can also go to the menu and find transform function as well. So starting with that, I'm going to go ahead and select multiple images and scale those down so that they're extending past the artboard, but we're a little bit better composed. One of the things you'll notice is going through here, I can then move these guys around, let's say trying to avoid any tension spots. So let's get this gentleman's hand off that edge. Go here with this girl. We're going to go ahead and I'll make sure that we're getting all of that pixel real estate at the very top. Right there. And with this one, we could probably, no, we can't really scale her down much. This image, you can see the content matters more at the bottom, so we want to go ahead and manually drag this one up. A little bit better composition. And with our eagle, we're going to drag him up just a little bit. Cool. Same thing we did before. We're going to select these images. Hold down Shift, select, Option, click, and drag into the next grouping. So we're going to go select these guys, scale them down, and some images just won't work in certain spaces. So that's something to be mindful of too, is if we have certain images that just don't work, it's a good time to just sort of cut those out or replace them with a better image. So now I'm going to go back into image 1. One thing duplicating these layers and also naming them correctly the first time is as we duplicate them, it's going to keep that naming convention that we want, which is a good way to do that. So we're going to take this guy, transform, let's slide them over just a little bit more. Let's get her, and we're going to transform that up and center her. Put into this image, we're going to transform this down, and this might be one of those images where we're getting a lot of ceiling here, but we'll let them slide for now for demonstration purposes. And let's grab our eagle. Okay, great. And then last grouping, we're going to take these guys again, holding down Shift, select, Option, click and drag. We're going to do our last grouping. Okay. This would be a good time with this image to maybe expand that up a little bit so it just better fills that composition. And lastly, our eagle. So as y'all remember from that last awesome presentation on how to do this that bombed miserably, one of the issues we ran into when we were trying to save for web or export these was that we were getting the entire artboard with all of the different layers selected. So what I found, sort of a workaround for this, is a little bit more steps involved, but what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and holding down Shift, we'll go up here to the very top, and all the way to the very bottom, holding down Shift, I'm going to select all of my layers, and then we can hold down the Command key, and let's just get rid of and select these folders. So now we have every single layer in this file selected. Now you can do this in series, you can do this in batches, but what we're going to do for now, in the layers panel, I'm going to right click, I'm going to go quick export as ping, or command, was that Shift Command and the comma. We'll just right click for now. So got my source images saved here, and then I'm going to go ahead and first let me clear this folder out. I was running the test for this. Move to trash. Yes. So with all these layers selected again, I'm going to right click, quick export as ping. We're going to save these to the PNG folder, hit open, and it's going to process. So essentially what's going to happen now is each one of these artboards and the layers inside those artboards, it just exported every single layer at those dimensions that we have. So then what I want to do is create an action for this. That's basically going to take our PNG files and convert them to WebP. So what I'm going to do is go to, you can go new action from the hamburger menu, or you can also hit new action down here. Go ahead and do a new action. We're going to call this CBCC Save WebP. All right, I'm going to hit record, and as soon as I start recording, you'll see the record button activated down here. So now it's recording all of my actions. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to File and go to Open. And then now I'm going to go to one of the PNG files that we have. So I'm going to go to Image 1, hit Open. And then what I'm going to do is go to File, Save a Copy. You can also hit Command Option S, go Save a Copy. And that's going to bring up this dialog box. I'm going to go to save this as a WebP. So save WebP, and actually before I do this, let's go ahead and go to the WebP folder. So save WebP, and then hit save. And the WebP compression settings, we're probably going to want to hover right around 70. It's going to be a pretty good number for us. Hit OK. And then we're going to go Command W, or we can also go to, where is it? File, I haven't used this in a while. File close, Command W. And then we want to stop the action. Okay? So now we've recorded that WebP action. If we go into File, Automate, Batch, that's going to bring up this dialog box, and then we have our default actions. And you can see this action is already loaded. It's cvcc save WebP. So I want to then go to my source folder. So I'm going to hit choose. I'm going to hit PNG file, which is this folder right here. Select that. We're going to make sure that override action open commands is checked. We're then going to set our source destination folder. So I'm going to choose my source destination folder, which would be WebP. Choose, and then hit OK. Oh, and then override action save as command. We want that checked. Hit OK. And it should start processing all of those PNG files and then converting them into WebP files. And again, this is a very quick, but another way that you can do this as well is going through each one of these with only these Photoshop artboards selected. You can go through and batch export all of just the 1440 by 600s into a folder unto themselves. And so that way you would have 4 different folder sets, and you run that action or that script each time. I put all of the images into one folder, so we're going to go back over to Finder, and you'll see now we have all of our WebP files saved. So if we go back to PNG files, the image 1-1 is 1.6 megabytes, and its WebP counterpart is 81 kilobytes. And again, one of the things that's great about this is you can't really see the compression, but your site's gonna be much faster. So that's the correct way to batch export all of these images and layers out of Photoshop.